The summer travel season is headed into high gear with the 4th of July just days away. Travel experts say U.S. vacationers have European travel fever. And China's got some surprising good news as it transitions to renewables. So here to break it all down for us on today's MoneyWatch International is CBS News correspondent Ramy Inocencio, who's in London watching the flow of money around the world. First to news of the day, where you are, the UK managed to avoid a recession this past winter.
Yeah, that's right, Wendy. And right now, money, as I'm seeing, is flowing into UK stocks. The main benchmark, the FTSE 100, is trading at highs of the day and at highs of the week, in fact. And it's thanks to US data yesterday that was revised and UK data out this morning. The good news is that the British economy grew 0.1% in the first quarter. And I say that and I have to smile because 0.1% obviously isn't that big, but it's better than 0.0 or negative. Check out the current economic growth for all G7 countries here, and you see where the UK as well as the UK stacks up. The US right there in the middle with 0.5% growth. Revised up on Thursday, as I mentioned. The chance of a recession also falling where you are. That's according to Goldman Sachs. So good news there. Germany, though, at the top. I put it there because that is in recession. It is, of course, Europe's biggest economy, so not great news. Its economy shrinking 0.3%. The UK there, the slowest growing, growth being the operative word here of all G7 countries. And now, unfortunately, forecast for a recession likely later this year. That's because inflation. Wendy, we've been talking about this for over and over and over for months. Right? Still more than 4 times the target of 2%, and more rate hikes are expected here, just like where they are, where you are.
And in travel news, U.S. travelers have European travel fever despite soaring costs for tickets and hotels, high inflation, 2 more rate hikes still expected. I was just in France. I was there for a week and a half, and definitely every other person there I thought was another American. It was actually astounding. I've never been to Europe and seen so many Europeans and so many Americans in Europe. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, and it's going to get worse, more. Depends on who you are.
Your
if you're
perspective.
European. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, this is also coming off of these sky-high prices that are going even higher. The average airplane ticket, get this, from the U.S. to Europe is now at its highest in the past 6 years. So it's rebounded from the COVID era, from before the COVID era. It now costs around $1,100 per person. That's according to travel booking site Hopper. But it's not stopping people. Americans flocking and flocking and flocking. Check out the 5 most popular destinations for U.S. travelers on this map we've got for you here. Portugal, in the bottom left, is a top country to go to. Flights there from the U.S. are cheapest relative to all the other countries. And those are Spain, Italy, the U.K. here, meeting your money for sure. Greece, rounding out this group. Athens is the most popular European city for Americans. Also Barcelona and Rome. And you know, that bump, this travel bump, is giving a bump to travel stocks. I want to show you this other chart that I have for you here. Delta and United shares. Look at this. If you're an investor, up 40% or more so far this year. Carnival Cruise Line stock price has more than doubled, 115% just this past year. Advanced bookings there at a record. Marriott, you know, you got to stay someplace. If it's not maybe Airbnb or your friend's place, it's going to be at a hotel. Marriott shares up 23% there.
I got to look at my investments a little bit more carefully. These stocks look very good. And in China, there's surprise good news about China's switch to renewable energy. Wind and solar are booming. That's giving a bit of hope around carbon emissions and climate change. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, China's not only going to hit its green energy targets set for 2030, it's going to hit them 5 years early by the end of 2025. And what's worthy of note for this is that it isn't coming from the Chinese government. This is actually coming from a U.S. NGO called Global Energy Monitor that's based in San Francisco, and it follows the energy production around the world. The bar chart that we have here, just very quickly, China's going to more than double its solar and wind capacity in the next couple years through 2025. The culmination of 20 years of economic and environmental planning. Wendy, I'll throw it back to you, and I'll just say that China is the world leader in terms of renewables. That's because it's so fast. It's able to go fast. If only a lot of other countries could go just as quick.
Ramy, thank you.
You bet.